Polish boy. So this child hasn't got a hope in hell, and I feel sorry for this poor child. He couldn't have had a much worse start in life than this.
It's not going to get any fucking better, mate. So that's what I'm saying. How do we go in and try and adopt him there on behalf of the country? Because if we're paying for his existence, then surely we've got every right to try and go in and save him.
Yes, but I don't see how we can save him. I really don't. I hate to say it, I hate to write off a person at such a young age, but I think he's already a loss because the system is set up in such a way as to corrupt him.
There you go. So
there's nothing we can do about it because
there's a lovely lady out there who loves your dulcet tones of your information that you provide, and she's sitting there, and if she wants to come on and talk to you, she's more than welcome to, even though she's on a lifetime ban for the next 5 seconds. But she feels sorry for this wee 3-month-old baby. But I said to her, the institution, the boy's damned as it is, and that's why I said, let's, flippantly, obviously, we're no child kidnappers, but, if the case is, well, maybe, I wouldn't want to waste police time or anybody's time, but, I do prank calls now and again occasionally. I feel like doing a call and saying, there's a kid here that needs help and thing with, but I wouldn't do anything like that, but really, surely, if we are paying for this bloody Wayne, then we're only doing our duty bound to try and help it out and say, take it away from such a corrupt, illegitimate family.
The thing is, Tommy, as try as we might, there's nothing we can do for Prince George, but there is plenty we can do for children in our own communities.
That's true.
Because they're the ones who they're going to suffer more than Prince George, because Prince George is going to be. He's not going to want a roof over his head. He's made for life. But there are children who aren't born into royalty who are going to suffer. And we can do something there to alleviate their poor suffering. So I would say, if we want to help Prince George, we need to help all the other children in our communities who are suffering from abuse, whether it be from their parents or social workers or television presenters, whatever.
Words of wisdom, if you can truly let into when you're right, we're just getting someone on here.
His head is made for life. There are children who aren't born into royalty.
Hi, Tommy.
There you go, Jonathan. You heard yourself there played back there. The lovely Una's listening to you. Una, Tommy, I'm Tommy, allegedly, and this is Jonathan, allegedly, and this is Una, allegedly, so we're all allegedly on air together.
Thought I was banned.
Allegedly, right,
Hi,
click
Una.
on. Right, somebody say something.
Jonathan.
Speak. You've got
Yeah,
to speak in separate
spoken
time.
in the past.
Yes.
We've spoken before in the past on Tommy shows.
Never.
My heart goes out to a 3-month-old baby that's born into the establishment. It goes out to him because he's not going to get the open-eyed, unblinkered view that you, I, Tommy, all the kids in Glasgow, all the kids around the world are going to have, which is extremely sad, I feel, for young George, who unfortunately has to be given an establishment name for a start.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, the plight of
Hold
George.
on. We should feel sorry for him because he's actually called George an establishment name. Oh, it's
Well,
Hebrew
yes,
name.
but
It's a
he's
Hebrew name
hold
actually.
on.
It's a Hebrew name. It's a Hebrew name.
Listen to what I said, Tommy.
I know. I'm just perverting the truth as usual.
He's actually named after his grandfather, who's made it clear that when he inherits the family business, he wants to be known as George the Seventh.
So Prince Charles will be
you've got
George
to
the
feel
Seventh?
sorry for.
So,
You've got to feel sorry for the poor mite being named after his grandfather.
I just feel sorry for the poor mate. You know, I understand totally what everybody listening in is thinking tonight, that it's establishment, it's royalty. I'm totally anti-royalty, right? But I am pro-baby. I'm sorry, I'm a female, I'm a mother, and at 3 months of age, I feel so sorry for this wee mate that is born into all that shite.
We might born into shite.
The plight of Prince George already looks very similar to that of another young boy who was born 60 or 70 odd years ago in a village in Iraq called Crete. His mother tried to abort him before he was born. His father walked out on his mother when he was age 3, and his stepfather was actually his uncle, who was a Hitler sympathizer and actually collaborated with the Germans in Iraq during the Second World War. And this young boy, who was bullied mercilessly and couldn't read or write until he was nearly 20, turned into the most bloodthirsty tyrant that the Middle East has seen. And that young boy was Saddam Hussein al-Tikrit. And and I feel...
Hold on, stay there and I'll phone you back, right? Because the line needs to be better. I need to hear that again, because that was just brilliant. Right, Jonathan should be coming back and we'll get you now.
Hello?
Right, stay there, we're just going to add somebody else into it, right? And so I want you to repeat that again there, because the line was crackling, but I heard it all there.
There. Well, I'll explain it again, because it's an all too familiar story. The plight of Prince George looks as if it's going to mirror the life stories of 3 other little boys who've been born over the past 120 years. The one I was mentioning was a young boy who was born in an Iraqi village called Tikrit. His mother tried to abort. Yeah, his mother tried to abort him before he was born. He was, ironically enough, saved in the womb by his mother's Jewish neighbors. Ironically enough, the boy's father walked out on his mother when he was only 3 years old. His stepfather was his uncle, who was a collaborator with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, he himself commanded divisions of the SS in Bosnia during the Second World War. This young boy couldn't read or write until he was nearly 20. He had a very rudimentary education up until the time he went to university in Cairo. And this man grew up to be a bloodthirsty tyrant called Saddam Hussein, who murdered people almost on a whim. There was another little boy born in a village in Georgia to an illiterate mother and a cobbler for a father. The cobbler's father was away for most of the young boy's life. When he did return home, he would beat him in drunken stupors so badly that this little boy had one arm shorter than the other. This little boy somehow managed to survive his father's beatings and smallpox. Unfortunately, he was corrupted by in the Orthodox Church seminary, where he was training to become a priest.
Who is it? Who is it? Give us a name. Hold on, you're not giving us Stalin.
And there's
Stalin.
and there's another little boy.
Jonathan, can I just step in here and say that I understand where you're coming from, and what you do is, when it comes to tyrants, you look over your shoulder and you look at their history and you remember all that. I, being the person I am, I look forward, and we can all look into our past and see what the people behind us did, and it could be good, it could be bad. We're not there to judge that. It's the person you are that goes forward. It's not the person behind you. So
I'm just drawing the parallels on how little innocent children can be corrupted by their circumstances.
But you're not. What you're not doing. No, you say you're drawing parallels. You can't draw parallels to a child.
He just said.
No, he just said.
He just says there. Jonathan, just repeat what you just said there.
What I'm saying is, I'm trying to demonstrate how innocent little children are brought into the world and then corrupted by their circumstances.
And now, so what I'm saying, Una, what I said earlier on is, we'll try to adopt them to change the circumstances.
Are in many ways different from the other boys I've mentioned, but the outcome is the same. He's being corrupted by his environment, and he will grow up to be a tyrant.
I can understand what you're saying, totally, Jonathan. But what I said earlier on was, as a 3-month-old baby, 20 years ago, when his father was born, there was no internet, there was nothing to parallel what his father didn't have. It took me 2 years to discover Tommy, discover open-mindedness, and discover what could go on in the world. All I'm saying is, when it comes to a little 3-month-old baby, that you don't know what that 3-month-old baby has in his future. We can all reckon that he's got the establishment stuff down his throat. We've got no doubt about that. But he has the opportunity, and that's the difference. The opportunity is there for someone to learn something different. I've learned something different in the last couple of years. I've learned something different through listening. Now, I'm 43. I understand that it's a bad example. But all I'm saying is that it's out there, the opportunity to learn more and to get away from the establishment and to maybe broaden your mind, understand other people, give positive thought, dismiss negativity.
But the problem is he's never ever going to be able to escape from the circumstances he's born into, because even if he did rebel against his family, he'd end up like his grandmother.
Jonathan, I understand what you're saying, and you're saying that on this date in 2013, you have no idea what is going to happen to that young boy in 2026.
But we can have a good guess.
You don't know what that young boy will be open to or will have had...
yeah, but hold on. But we know if what his family has done and what they've been like in the way they did for Prince William, so we've got a rough idea.
Absolutely, Tommy, but you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
But then...
You do not know.
You're right.
None of us know. None of us know what he is open to.
Happen, but we have a pretty good idea, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I've got a pretty... Jonathan, I've got a pretty good idea that my children, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, are going to experience porn on their laptops when I buy them for Christmas from Santa. I've a really good idea that